Hello, everyone. This is Robin. I am so excited. Today, we are working on all of the beach stuff. It's going to be fun. So, how is everyone doing today? So, um, come on, and let me know you're here. And if you happen to catch this on the replay, click that, type in there hashtag replay, and let me know that you have come on and watched. So, I'm Robin from Center Street Decor SVGs. I design files for your laser and your paper cutters. So I have been working on all the beach files, you guys. So I'm really excited to show you what we've got going on today. So I've been painting this morning. I have my beach collection. Let me show you our little beach bag. This is our beach tote bag. Everything you need to take to the beach. So inside our little beach bag, so I have a beach hat and sunglasses here. And then I have just put in a few little towels. Aren't these just the cutest ever? So here's our towels. So this little beach bag, you can, you don't have to make it a 3D if you want. This is a 3D. Let me pull this out so you can see. So this is a 3D. So this is a pocket and it's a shelf sitter. So it will sit on this shelf and you can put all the accessories in there. You can add this to a tiered tray, whatever you would like. So let me show you this now. The tote bag, the beach bag comes in 3 different sizes. So this is the large size, and then this is the small size, and then I have a third size, which is the medium. We're going to be painting the medium today with you. So cute. Let me bring you down and show you some fun things. Oh, let me show you some fun, the paints we're going to be using. I'm going to bring you down, show you what we've got going on. Okay, so this is the beach tote bag. So you can see the 3D, and it is a shelf sitter, so it will stand on your shelf if you don't decorate with tiered trays, or if you don't, if you like to make shelf sitters for your customers or tiered trade items. Now this is pretty big. This tote bag. So without the accessories, it is about 4.5 by 5.5. So once I add some of the accessories, it gets a little bigger. So we get about 7 inches tall. So that's kind of what we've got going on here with our beach bag. And I love the little tags. So with the tags, let me turn it around so you can see. So Sun Goddess, and there's 3 different tags, and all the tags come in 3 different sizes. So we have beach bag, we have beach bum, and Sun Goddess. So that's the 3 tags for our bags, and they do come in all of the different sizes. So I have done all the sizing for you. So in my files, that's something I like to do when I do shelf sitters. I do them in 3 or 4 different sizes, depending on the item. And then the accessories are all scaled down too. So everything is scaled for you in this file to make the 3 different sizes of bags. So you can see the 3 different sizes of tags. Okay. So that is the tags that come on there that you can label your beach bag. Okay, so let's set some of these items aside. And I love to add little accessories, like if you can see the little beach glasses have a little pearls on the corner, and then the accessory of adding a little bit of the towels, and I'm going to show you how to do all of that today. Okay, so some of the paint colors, or the paint colors, I should say, that we're going to be using. So, so just grab some fun summer colors, whatever you want to paint with. So this is a Pursuit of Teal and then Paradox Green. These are Valspar paints from Lowe's, and then I just like to put them in these bottles. And then I just have a bunch of other paints that we're going to be using as well. So just an ivory color. This happens to be antique parchment. We'll use a little bit of burnt umber. You can use black, or I use this color Pavement. It's kind of a little bit of a softer black. This is Sunny Day, just a nice fun yellow. And then this is a little bit of a coral color. It's called Flamingo Coral. And then I have Fawn, and then we'll use the Nutmeg Brown to do our shading. So those are the colors that we're going to work with today. And now let me grab the pieces that we have for all the beach bags. Okay, so the pieces you're going to get that come in the file, so I'll set that one aside, are these 3 pieces. You have this piece, which is your handle for your beach bag. You have your hat. Your hat has a bow. And then, oh, I'm like, one more piece. And then here are your sunglasses. So these are the 3 pieces that are scaled down, and also all your tags. So all the tags will be in these are the medium size pieces. But what I like to do, if I'm going to add extra accessories, like this towel, when I add my towels, for instance, I need it a little bit more chunky. Otherwise, if this one layer, this creates the pocket. So this is the back, this piece, and then sandwiched like that. But if I want to go a little bit chunkier, I cut 2 of these pieces. Okay, so I have 2 right here, and I'm going to use the 2. So that's an option. Another idea that you can do is, you can see I have this really fun hibiscus floral pattern. If you want to make a polka dot bag, you would just cut the back piece and do all your polka dots on there, and still add your handle. So you can add your own, variation instead of just using the pattern, which is fun too. So that just gives you options. And then what you would do is you would just cut, the extra pocket, and then another one for the back, depending on how thick you want to go with your pocket. Okay. Just tip you just a little bit so I can see. Whoops. Oh, there goes my foam stand. It's fallen over. Okay. So that helps you. And I have some of my pieces cut out. I always do 1/4 inch when I'm doing my chunky shelf sitters. I use the 1/4 inch wood to do that, but all the accessory pieces are done in the 1/8. And sometimes I use a wood grain, and then sometimes I'll cut out with MDF. And so, and it just varies. So I just use a little of each. We're going to actually use the beach bag accessory, the beach bag tag. Let's put the large beach bag accessories to the side. Okay, so let's get all my pieces in order. So I don't need to do anything with the center pieces. I don't need to paint them or anything. And I don't paint the edges. I keep all my edges, just that wood, what the laser does, that burnt edge. I like that. So I don't worry about painting it. Okay. So we're going to set those aside. So we're going to do a tan color for our handle, or the fawn. That's what I have. So I just use a tan color. And today you'll see that I'll be using some brushes, some sponges, a little bit of each. So I've just got my tan. And I designed this so it kind of looks like a faux leather handle, at least. That's kind of the look I was going for when I was designing the texture, the pattern on this handle. So I'm just going to tap away. So I hope you're all having a good day today. Okay, and if you get any paint in the creases, just use a sharp poker tool. And this is just a poker tool from the dollar store. Works great. Just for going through some of those lines. Okay, we'll just set that aside to dry. And so now what we want to do is we want to decide what we want to color. Oh, I want to do this in the tan color too. I just remembered. Oh, I've got a fuzzy. I have a fuzzy that's attached to my paint. It's probably a piece of fuzzy from my towels when I cut the towel. So this we're going to do an ombre, but let's go ahead and paint our hat in the tan too. And we'll do some shading on the hat so it's not a flat color. You could also, because there's these lines on the hat, you could also make a striped hat. That would be really cute too. And then we'll have to decide what color we want we'll get this one, what color we want our ribbon to be. So I color that center strip and then the bow. That's our ribbon for our hat. And you can also clean out these holes if you would like to. We're actually going to be shading around them, so sometimes when I shade around, I don't really worry about cleaning out the little lines. Okay, set that aside. See if this will probably need an extra coat. It needs to dry a little bit. Let's think about what color we want our bow to be. And then our sunglasses. So on the large one, I did the bow and the sunglasses to be matching. And then on the small one, I did them just a little bit different. So I think we'll do, use the blue on here. Maybe we'll do blue and blue. That'll be kind of our color. The colors we do. Let's go ahead and get our blue. It's kind of a turquoisey color. And then I am going to grab a little bit of tape just to hold a couple of my smaller pieces in place so I don't have to hold them with my fingers. We'll put these smaller pieces on here. And for our tag, we're going to do that ivory color. That's where the ivory comes in. The ivory will come in as we'll do it on the tag, and then we'll do it on a little bit of highlighting on our sunglasses, a little bit of highlighting on the hat. So do you have a preference whether you use wood or do you like MDF? Which do you like to use? So you don't really need to cut this color, or you don't need to paint the centers of the glasses. So it just happened to, when I went around the edges, it was colored in. Okay, another coat on our tote bag handle. And it doesn't have to be totally solid painting if you don't want it to be, because we're going to be doing that shading on there. So because this is wood, there's a lot of fibers that poke up when you paint. So I like to just take a little bit of a sander, just a sanding block. This is a very fine 220. I think that's what it is, 220, but it's very fine. And it's just going to kind of take some of that off. And then I take this and I rub it on the front of my apron. It works great just to get the extra fibers off. And sometimes when you do the sanding, I usually do it off to the side, but I wanted you to see, because now I have little bits of sanded fibers from the wood. That's what I'm trying to say, you guys. Okay, so the hat's looking pretty good. I think just a little bit more. I only sand it the one time. The first time after, so I paint it and I'll give it a little bit of sanding. If it's wood, this is MDF, so I don't need to sand it. But I only do it just this one time. I sand it and then I'll go over with another coat. And I don't usually need to sand it again. Okay. Let that dry a little bit. We can paint our bow again. We can come in with our antique parchment. Grab another sponge. And because this has the engraved on there, I do the lightest of touch, because if you push it too firmly, you're going to squish inside of that writing, and you want that writing to be crisp and brown if you're painting over it. So I just tap really light. And this will need 2 coats. And then we'll do a little bit of shading on that. Okay, let's do our sunglasses again. So usually painting, you do several coats. Okay, that's going to be good for that. And if you want to clean out those lines, you can, again, on your sunglasses. And I went outside, so I'm just going to tap that a little bit more. I scraped over the paint. So I was just cleaning it up a little bit. Okay. So these are looking pretty good. This needs to dry a little bit more. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to use the burnt umber. So on the backs of my pieces, instead of just leaving them with the raw wood, I like to just rub it with a baby wipe and a little bit of paint. I do that on the MDF too. Even though one is wood and one is MDF, they look a little bit different. But I like to just give it a little bit of a finished look. So we're going to take our burnt umber. And I use a baby wipe. Okay, so if you can see on the bag, you can see on the inside here. So we'll do a little bit on the front, or the front and the back of the back piece. So here's the front. So we're gonna, because we have that pocket, I just need to come down just a little bit. And this will lighten. It looks kind of dark right now, but it will lighten as it sorps. I was going to say absorb and soaks. So I said sorp. Okay. So that one is finished. And this is the back. So you can see I did a little bit of cutting, but I didn't have it, I didn't have the right speed on there. I had a really high speed and it didn't cut all the way through. So I'm just utilizing this wood and just flip the wood over and cut it again. That's why those weird marks are on there. I don't know why my speed, I went all the way up to 500. I put in what I usually put in for this, but I put the speed all the way up to 500, not knowing. And then I'm like, wow, that's cutting really fast. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's the back side. So we're going to see a little bit of the inside on here. So we're just going to rub this. So this is going to be on the inside of our tote bag. So we don't need to come all the way down because you can see our pocket will cover this area. Okay, so we'll put that aside. We can go ahead and add a little bit of ivory. So the fun thing is that when you're painting all these pieces, you just jump from different pieces, piece to piece, just so you can get all your painting. So my bow looks good. My bow is finished. And these will be finished, but it's not quite dry. Well, I need to paint the black. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, I just noticed on my tote bags, I didn't go around the edges. I wanted to go around the edges with my shading. I think I might be able to still do that. We'll see if we can do that. Okay, let's go ahead and work on our ombre. So pick whatever colors. You can see I did 3 colors on this one and 4 on this one. So pick whatever colors you want. So I think I am going to do some orange on the top, and then we'll do some yellow. And then I think I want to do the green. We'll just go ahead and do the green because then they'll all kind of coordinate as they sit together on in my hutch. Okay, so I usually start with, put this around so we can get to it. I like to start with the center color. Let's go all our colors ready. And we'll show you how to do this ombre. Green. Did I say I was going to do green on the bottom? I think so, huh? I'm going to need to get me another piece of tinfoil. Okay, so here's my sponge. And with my sponges, I cut them into quarters and use them for the little pieces like I did on these. But when I do the ombre, I use the full piece. So I'm going to start and just load, not quite the whole thing, but now I'm just going to, I need to tap off a little bit because I don't want to go too much into those grooves of those beautiful flowers and leaves. So I'm just going to fill a little bit of this center in just with this yellow. I'll jump back and forth with my paints here. Pick up the color, I'm going to tap it off. Okay, and when I feel I have pretty good coverage on that, then I'm going to pick up the orange. So now I have yellow and then orange. And I'm going to come over here. I actually need to pick up a little bit more yellow. So I feel yellow and the orange both on here. And now I'm just going to, oh, I'm going to mix it all up. That's what I'm going to do. I need to get some more of my yellow. Okay, so now I'm going to walk it. Just going to go back and forth, just blending the two colors. So now I'm going to come up a little higher so I can get the orange at the top. And I can see I can already need a lot more yellow because I want to do that ombre. Right now you can see where I went with the orange. You can see a line and we don't want to see the line. Let me just finish filling in. Okay, now I'm going to pick up a little bit of the yellow again. I get really messy when I do the ombre. So I'm actually tapping it kind of back and forth. Okay. And I walk back and forth too as I'm tapping it on my wood because it's a little more challenging to get yellow to be the ombre. There, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to get a clean sponge because I find when I try to do it all with one sponge, it just gets really mucky. So picking up the yellow, picking up the green, just doing some blending. Now I'm just walking it back and forth. And I'm just walking it back and forth just to get that color on. Right now I'm not looking for that mixture of the ombre yet. I need to get that green to get good coverage. I just picked up a little bit more green because I need to fill in those areas. Okay, now I'm going for the ombre look. So I get the green and the yellow. And now I'm working more right on that. There's kind of a line, invisible line, I guess you could say, where you want the colors to kind of mix. Yeah, I think that looks really pretty. Doesn't that look pretty? Oh, such pretty summer colors. Love it. Oh, and I just realized I did these blue and I didn't add any blue. Let's do a little blue down on the bottom. Let's do just a little bit of blue. We'll just do just the very bottom. I think I might want to let that dry just a little bit, otherwise my blue might not be very blue. We'll just wait a second. We'll wait a second on that. We will come back to it. Okay, let's go ahead and do we'll use our black to fill in for our sunglasses, and I have a round brush, just round. I love to use flat brush, or not flat, but angled brushes. But we're going to use a round. I like to do a round brush when I'm filling in little areas. I can see I have a lot of water, so I'm going to tap on my paper towel just to get rid of some of that water. I just realized I didn't have my little readers on. This is when I need my little readers. I need to see what I'm doing when I get to do some of the detail. I like to have my little readers on so I can see. Aren't these beach bags so cute? What else would you put in these little beach bags? You could put, trying to think of what else you could do. You could use different colors of towels. And I had an old washcloth. That's what I used to cut up to make my little mini towels. My miniature, I should say, not mini, miniature towels. I'll show you how I make them. When we get there, when we start adding all the accessories into our bag, this will probably need just 2 coats. Okay, set that aside. I think we can come back to this now. Let's add a little bit of that blue. Gotta find where I put my blue sponge. There we go. Gonna add a little bit of blue on here. Okay, so now I'm gonna pick up, need some more blue paint. I'm gonna pick up some blue and then some green. On my sponge, and then we're gonna blend those. Okay. And now we're just gonna blend. So we can get that ombre look. Okay, we've added just a little bit of blue on the bottom. That looks fun. That looks fun. I like it. And I'll just cut off the ends once these dry. I'll just cut off the ends and then I'll use these sponges again. So I like to save those sponges. I have a fuzzy on my sign. Okay, let's start working on our shading. And I want to remember to shade that. I think I can still do a little shading on these, and I think I will. Okay, so I like to use the nutmeg brown. Let's fold this over. I'm going to get this one out of the way. Fold this over. Okay, now that we have that, I get one of my angled brushes. Get just the corner in the paint and then just swatch it. And then I'm just going to pull that darker paint. I have quite a bit of water, so I can pick up a little bit more paint. Go on the outside of our handle. Okay, so our hat, I'm actually going to go on the lines. I think maybe I'm going to paint that blue first. Let's paint that blue. I was going to say, I still have a little bit more blue over here that I can use. So I am going to use, this is actually an eyeliner brush. And you can just buy them on Amazon. You buy them like in a pack of 100, and it's only like about $8 or so. But they're great for little tiny detail work, if you like to do that. So it helps me get into like little tiny areas, which I'm going to do this little stripe right here. This helps me get into a little tiny area. So if you have trouble getting in smaller areas with some of your other brushes, these little eyeliner brushes work great. Okay, set that aside. And I have been using like the same two eyeliner brushes for a long time. I just rinse them out, so they're going to last me for a really long time. So I need to let that dry before I go ahead and do my shading on that. We can shade our little tag here. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just picking up a little bit of the white. I don't want white. The color is white. I need brown, you guys. I need brown. Picking up a little bit of the brown, and I'm going to take it off the tape. And also my little bow. Just run a little bit of that on there, flip it over, and then do the other side. So nothing too fancy. And then I'm just going to go a little bit on some of the edges of my bow, just to give it a little bit of dimension. Oh, there's something. I was like, what is on my... I've got a thick bit of paint on there. And then we'll add just a little bit of highlighting onto our bow as well. Okay, let's see how things are coming along. We can add another shading to our handle, our tote bag handle. Okay, so that is done. We can set that aside. We can come down the side. Just add a little bit there. Okay. That's done. That's done, except for the highlighting on there. I'll do a little highlighting. And that needs to dry a little bit more. And that is almost dry. I'm going to see if I can do a little highlighting on these since I've already put them together, but we're going to give it a try. Excuse me. I'm going to see if this will work. It's going to be kind of tricky. Just adding just a little bit of that shadow around. It's a little tricky where we got everything glued together up here. But we'll do a little bit of shading along this edge. There we go. Oh, and a little on the top. Maybe we can do a little bit of highlighting on the top too. Okay. So I don't know if you can even see the difference, but just adds just a little bit of shadow. This dimension just gives dimension. I have more surface to work with on this one. And it gets a little tight up in the corners again. Now that's tricky, trying to get under the tag, because more of that shows where the other tag, it was covering that area. It adds just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Let's tuck that away. There, I like that. It just adds just a little bit. That's what it needed. Needed just a little bit extra. Nope, enough water. Paint looks like it's skipping. You just need to get more water. And sometimes you just need to get more water and not even more paint if it's kind of thick on there when you're doing your shading. Oh, this is much easier not to have all the extra tags and handle in the way. Oops, see, I'm dry. So I've just picked up just some water and not paint because I still had some paint. Okay. Okay, I do need to do one more coat of black on the inside right here. I don't really even need to go to the edges on that one. Just kind of filling in the center where it looked a little bit thin. Okay. I say okay a lot. I just realized, okay, okay, next one, okay, okay. Oh, I did it again. Maybe I'll have to work on that, you guys. I'll have to work on not saying that word. Let's add. So what I like to do on my hat is I just went, if you can see on this bigger one, I went above and below the lines. So I did above, and then when that dried, I came below the lines. And then I did it, of course, where the hat band is. So that's what we're going to do on here, above and below the lines. So I'm going to start with the above lines of, let's see, where have I got paint? Paint and tape and lots of things. All the things, don't we? We have all the things. Okay, so I'm going to start with the above the lines, but I like to do the base of that hat brim too. I think I'm going to switch brushes. This one is kind of spread out a lot. And this one does not even look clean. So if you're going above or below, you need to think of as you float or do your shading, you want to stay above. So I'm going away from where I have already painted. And it doesn't need to be perfect. You can just, if you don't get full coverage on all the lines, it's okay. You're just adding just a little bit of just not dementia, sorry, a little dimension. So I'll go right above that line where the hat band is. And I'm just going to kind of keep going until I run out of paint. Just keep going along those lines. Okay, so I'll turn it around and come back the other way, but I do need to wait till this area is dry. Let's do a little shading on our sunglasses. And I actually did just kind of go all the way around. Oh, I just can tell my black is not dry. My black was not dry, you guys. Oh, baby white. Baby wipes are handy. fix that mess, huh? Let's go in, and I need to paint my black since I pulled it off. Oh, I've got some over here. Need to pour any. Might need to hit it with the heat gun so I can get it to dry faster. That one was dry. I think it was just this one. It wasn't quite dry. Make sure your paint is dry before you shade. Learn from me. Don't do what I did. Well, let's add, we can get some white and do a little bit of highlighting on just a few little areas. Let's add a little bit of white highlight just to the top of our bow, giving it just a little bit of light, and maybe just a little bit areas too of the tails. Okay, so there's our bow. I didn't do any highlighting on this. I did do highlighting on the hat, but we need to finish the shading. Highlighting on the glasses, but we have to do I'll do the shading first. Okay, this is dry. We can add some more shading. So this time I'm going to go below the lines just really quickly. And it doesn't even have to be a solid shading, just adding just a little bit of color just under the lines, just to, like I said, just give it some dimension, just to give your piece a little bit of movement. Now we're going to go ahead and go around that hat band. I don't know if you've all taken a look at the collection, the beach collection that I have. I have several pieces that I have on Etsy. It's on my shop. My shop name is Center Street Decor. But I have several beach pieces that I've added. And they are not painted, and that's why I'm busy painting, so I can add some photos for you guys. I find it's much nicer to be able to see a finished photo of something. It just gives you a little bit more idea than looking at the raw wood. Or some people can look at the raw wood and go, oh, I know what to do with that. I want to add just a little bit on the hat band as well. Okay, well that's drying, and this still needs to dry. I can really see it needs to dry. Let's start gluing. Let's just put some of our pieces glued together. So here is our back piece. This is the back, and then here is the inside. So these are going to go together. And again, if you want it to be extra chunky, cut an extra center. So you can add like a beach towel, or maybe there's something else you can think of you want to add in there. So I'm flipping it over to the back. You can see again, I reused this wood. I didn't just throw it away because I made a mistake on it. So I'm going to use my stick fast glue. I'm getting down to the bottom of this bottle. But I do have extras. So one thing I wanted to mention when I design my collections, like I have a beach collection and there's like 5 different, I believe there's like 5 different sets, 5 different sets. So when I design the beach collection, I design them to coordinate. So if you buy 2 different beach collections from the 5, you they will coordinate together because I use the same font in each one. I use 2 different fonts in this beach collection. So here, so it's more of a simple one and a cursive one. So I use 2 different fonts, but I use the same fonts in all of the collections. So they will all coordinate if you like to mix and match. So I like to just stand them up for my chunky shelf sitters, stand them up and run my fingers to make sure that they match. And then I'll give a firm press. If my wood is a little bit warped, this giving it pressure like this definitely helps. Okay, we can add this piece, and this is where I went ahead and did, I don't want to glue there because I don't know where the glue needs to go, so we will glue here. You can also, with my pieces, I have a lot of different chunky shelf sitters. You can also just use the front piece on like a tiered tray. You don't have to make them a chunky shelf sitter. Okay, let's go ahead and add the handle. I'll turn it upside down because I want to match. Oh, you know what I want to do? Before I do this, I'm going to take a Sharpie and clean up my edges. So this is just a simple black Sharpie. And I'm just going to run it along my edges that some of the paint has come over the edges. So usually this glue takes a lot longer to dry if it's not touching anything. But once it starts to touch something, it starts the drying process right away. Now I'll look on the inside and the top. I can see the top right there. So I'm holding it very carefully so I don't glue my fingers together. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Actually, it looks a lot better to clean up those edges. Okay, so this comes over into the corner area and then just slide it at the top. And I'm going to need my Sharpie on my, so I just make sure my handle is at the top, but not over the edge. That one's a little bit over, so I need to push it down. Once I get it where I want, firm pressure, and then the drying of this glue starts to take place. Okay, so I need to clean up these edges too. So let's take that same black marker, Sharpie marker, just running it along just to clean. I just think it makes those edges look so nice when you can clean them up. And you don't need to do the bottom so much because you won't see it when it's on a shelf, but I don't know. Do it. I do it anyway. And when you're using the Sharpie to cover your edges, make sure your paint is dry. Otherwise, your Sharpie picks up some of the paint and then it doesn't work as well. It's hard to get that ink to flow. It's almost like the paint creates a barrier. There, looks nicer, doesn't it? And I like to do it on my little tag because I always go over the edge on my little tag. We're just cleaning up these edges. Okay, let's see if there's anything. Yep, a little bit on around the edge of our bow. I've tried a lot of different markers to do this on the edge. I've tried paint markers work too, but I've tried, this is one of the markers that I've tried, a Liquitex, and I loved this at first. It was a burnt umber color, and I loved it at first, but it's like the nib, it stops working for me. It shouldn't, but I have two of them, and I loved them at first, but anyway, might as well go ahead and clean up these edges while we're doing the Sharpie, huh? Oh, let's see this one, just a little bit. So we still need to do the highlighting and the shading on the sunglasses. We also need to do the highlighting on the hat. And I think we can do that on the hat because the hat is dry now. Let's see. I think this is dry. I'm hoping that we can do our highlighting and we won't have that big smudgy mess that we had earlier. We don't want that. Okay, let's go ahead and do our highlighting. Or the shading. Said highlighting, but I meant shading on the sunglasses. Okay, cross your fingers. We don't have that smudgy mess that we had a minute ago. Oh, yay. And all this highlighting and shading that I'm doing on my pieces. Um, you don't have to do that. If that's something, if you don't mind them just being a solid color without the highlighting and shading, just do it your way. If you find that highlighting and shading is not your thing, don't worry about it. I'll add just a little bit of white across where the light would hit the top of this. There we go. And I also am going to add a little bit of shading. I said shading, highlighting, shading. There is a difference. I just need to make sure to say it correctly, huh? Okay. I know I need to fix this one again. After first picture I took of it, it looked kind of funny on that first edge. I think that looks a little better. We'll just run a little bit across the top. Just the top corner. The top corner and then about the middle is how far I went down. Okay. I think we are finished with all of our painting. So now we get to put it together. It's always fun when you finish painting your item to start putting it together to really make it come to life. And so that's what we're going to do right now. So now we're going to take all of our pieces. We've got our hat and our tag and our bow. I said hat. This is sunglasses. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the burnt umber on the back. So we'll just do a little bit of that. This is the baby wipe that's been used for several things during this project. For cleaning up the mucky sunglasses, to putting the stain on the back. It's not really stain, but faux stain, I guess you could call it. Okay, just kind of creates a finished look. The tag's not going to be shown. And then, this little edge of the bow is, but I didn't worry about it on the other ones. So, okay, fantastic. Let's put it together. We are ready to put our tag on here, our bow on the hat. So let's get our glue. Oh, so let me show you. So with the tag, sometimes I put the tags on top of something and you can see it's kind of wobbly. So whenever you have like little tiny bits that are inside of other bits that you cut out, sometimes I just hang on to just a few of these, not too many. For the most part, they go in the garbage, but sometimes I'll have little bits and I use these as a riser. So I'm going to turn my tag over. I'll put a little glue on it. And while I have my glue flowing, I'm just going to go ahead and add it to a little bit. of my bow. Oh, there was one side of my bow that I didn't need to glue. Whoops. So we'll just kind of rub it on there. So here's that little riser piece, and I'm just going to glue it just to the back side, and it's going to lift up on here. So whenever I have little pieces, I'm going to actually tap it on my paper towel so the glue doesn't squish out. And then I just line it up against, you can see where the lines stop. I just kind of put my bow somewhere along there. Anywhere along there. Looks super cute. Cute. Oh, it just makes that hat come to life when you add that bow on there. So cute. Okay, so let's go ahead. Dang it, I said okay again. And I have to work on that, you guys. So I'm just taking a piece of twine, and this is just 2-ply, so it's very thin. So I love to use this bead tool. If you have like a piece of wire, that works great too. So I'm just going to go through, the back side. I'm pushing it through my little holes on my tag. I'll take my twine and fold it in half and put it on here. Since it's a thin 2-ply, it will pull through this tiny hole. Anything thicker probably would not. And then I'm just going to take the 2 ends, pull it through the loop. And then there we go. Just pulled it through. And then I'll just trim my ends. And so when I go to glue it onto here, I want a little bit overlapping on the handle. But then that riser piece will be able to sit on our little tote bag. So little pieces are fantastic for little risers. So I'm going to put some glue here. And I'm going to put some on the twine too, because the twine will be laying on there. So just decide where you want to put it. You can put it in a different place on the bag. This is just where I decided to put my tag. And it takes longer for wood. The wood glue, this glue actually adheres wood together very quickly. But I have found if I use ribbon or anything else, it takes a lot longer to cure. It's not immediate. So I can probably still pull this off. It's probably good and glued where I have wood against wood, but the twine is probably not. It takes a little longer. So I just kind of set that aside and just let it do its thing. The hat is finished. The tote bag is finished. We have our little sunglasses that I want to add a couple little pearls to. So I've just got my bag of little teeny pearls here. So I am just going to take, and these have sticky back, but I prefer to use a little bit of glue. So it gets kind of tricky when you're gluing little tiny things. Sometimes I grab my little tweezer because I just want just a little teeny bit of glue on there. I mean, if you trust the sticker, you know, that's great too. And now it's going to glue to me. And these, I've had these for a really long time. So, wow, that one went flying. So some of the stickers don't even stay on there anyway. when I pull them off the plastic. Let's add a little bit of glue. Just the tiniest amount because you don't want it to squeeze out. I'll tap on my paper towel and it's just hanging on to my little tweezers, and I'm okay with that. It's helping hold it for me. Put it where you want and then just press it. Look how cute that is. Little diamonds would be super cute too. Little diamonds or any type of a rhinestone would be so fun. To add just a little bit of fun with your accessories. Okay, so these are all finished. Let me show you how I did my cute little towels for these are glued together. Oh, what's good thing these are on the inside. These are my little towels. And let me show you. I just used an old washcloth. So with this old washcloth, I like to use the edge for the top. It just gives a finished look. But you really don't need very much. And I'm not sure how deep I need, so I kind of pop it in here and see if that's pretty good. That's pretty close to where I want to be. But I only roll it up just a little bit. Almost like 1.5 rolls to fit in there is all I did. But what I do is I have a little bit of tacky glue, and I've had this sitting on the side so I could get in there because my tacky glue is getting down to the bottom. So I just have a little tacky glue on a toothpick. And now I'm just going to start rolling, and I try to make sure that the top doesn't go too wonky. It's okay if the bottom goes wonky because nobody's going to see it. There, the tacky glue, still a little tacky, but it will dry pretty quick. And you can do 2 or 3 or however many you want. This is a little bit. Like I said, I only fold it over like 1.5 times. So it's a pretty narrow piece of strip. If you have a piece of fabric, would work. Even if you have a cardstock would probably even be cute too. I've got a string on there. Let's cut the string off. So we're making our darling little towels for our tote bags. Just hold it there for a second or two. I think I need to make one more. This one's going to have 3. We'll make 3 for the middle size bag. Let's put it together. Here is our tote bag. I'm going to scoot some things over so I can try to get it in the center. So here's our little tote bag. And we've got our hat. So our hat can go in there. And our sunglasses. This is the large sunglasses. You can mix and match. That's okay. So here's our sunglasses. But what I like to do is I like to just throw in the towels first. This one might need to be cut. Oh, it's not. I thought maybe it would be too long. We'll put one over here. And then now I'll go ahead and squish in my cute accessories. Let's put our hat in there. And then our sunglasses. So again, if you don't have that extra layer, it's hard to get. I don't think you'll be able to get a towel in there, or not a towel, yeah, a piece of fabric in there. So, but you try and see what works for you. But now that I added a little towel, a little washcloth, we got our sunglasses. And if you find the hole is too deep and you want sunglasses to sit up higher, just take like a few pieces of the fabric, a few pieces of the towel, and shove them in there. And then things can sit up a little bit higher, if that makes sense. So the hole is not very deep, but if you want things to sit up a little bit higher, just put a little something in the bottom of it. So anyway, so this is our tote bag. I'm gonna flip you up here, you guys. So we've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes making our tote bag. But these are a really quick and easy project. I think the tote bags turned out really cute. Look at those little towels in there. They just add so much fun to our little beach towels, to our beach totes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this and learned some fun things. I'm Robin from Center Street Decor SVGs. So I do have an Etsy shop. It is called Center Street Decor. So go check this out. This is the SVG file. It is available. And there are 3 sizes. I have already done the sizing for you. So we have the large size. We just created the medium size. And then we have our little mini tote. So there's 3 different sizes and 3 different tags that go along with these. These are so fun. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Oh, and I need to show you what I'm going to be making tomorrow. So tomorrow, we have our flip-flops. So tomorrow we are going to paint, and maybe I'll even paint them later today. We'll see. So I'm going to hold this up so you can see. So this is our chunky, again, a chunky shelf sitter. It will stand up on its own, or you can also just use 1 layer and add them just like that and decorate them just like that. They're super cute. Look at the seashells. Aren't they cute? Fun. And they also have a cute little adorable seashell. And there's 3 different ones that will go on our flip-flop. So this happens to be a little star. So you can put a little star on the front of your little flip-flop. But I'm going to be painting these next time, either later today or tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we will talk to you later. Bye.